Well, hello, and thank you for joining us again for our next coding and marking panel. As you can tell, Christmas is approaching from the festive jumpers that we're wearing. I'm Richard Pether, and today I have with me our Managing Director, Chris Baker, and our UK Sales Manager, Steve Ryan. What we wanted to do here is we're approaching the end of what's been quite an interesting and challenging year in 2020. Is just to have a little bit of a review of some of the positive things that have been going on at Rotec throughout the year. I'll pass over to Chris in just a second because he's got a few notes of some of the highlights, in particular some of the trading highlights that we've seen in the business. So, Chris, perhaps I could just give you the opportunity to say some of the things that have been going on here in the last year.
I think we take a step back first. We look at 2019. We were all sitting there. We did our plans. We were continuing to aim to grow the company. So we're investing more in people, more in systems, more in products. We had those plans in place, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Who would have expected that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean we got, I suppose, 2 months of normal trade. Probably 3 really, but yeah, certainly come the end of March.
Yeah,
the world changed.
I think the thing that hit home there is, I mean, there are many world disasters, but the difference with this is just everywhere, and it affected some people quite closely. I think we all know people that have been affected by it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that hit home with that. We want to concentrate on the positive things.
Yeah.
So once COVID hit, and the first thing we wanted to do was make sure our people were okay. So we sat down with everybody. We made sure, from a financial point of view, they were okay. From a work environment point of view, they were okay. And we were one of the fortunate companies that were able to continue working. We were considered essential because the work we do is supporting the food and pharma industries. So, we had that normality, if you like, of being able to come into work. We then spoke to all of our customers, some of which were continuing, some of which unfortunately had a large downside, so we were trying to talk to them to see if there are any ways we can help. One of the things we saw there was an increase in rentals.
Yeah.
So people didn't want to commit to kit they might not need in a few months' time, so we did more rentals. And we also spoke to all our suppliers, because they're important to us as well, so we're making sure they're okay. Did anybody need paying early? Making sure sources of our supplies were okay. So we did all that work fairly quickly within the first couple of weeks, I would say.
Yeah.
We had people on the phone making those calls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is all good. I think we're all, talking to each other and realising that by and large things were going on normally.
Yeah.
I mean, even our landlord called us and checked we were all right, so it was a sort of two-way thing.
I think your response at the time was, yeah, we're okay.
We're fine, we'll keep going. And I think, his concern was there might have been, some of his tenants who were going to struggle, but again, he was looking at, what he could do to help. We're all in it together, just, how we'd all get through it together.
Talking to our suppliers, I think, was a positive, a big positive for the business. I think it helped build a relationship between us and them.
Certainly.
And it certainly created a sense of, if you like, a family, rather than just a supplier to a business.
Mm.
And the same was echoed with the customers.
Yeah, that's an important point now.
I think for sure, this year has certainly come with its own challenges. From a sales perspective, we've had to adapt quite majorly the way that we have approached inquiries. So we've done a lot more.
You're not allowed out so much anymore.
That's very true, and I do miss it. I do miss seeing the customers. It is an important part of the role, and again, building that bond and your allegiance to the customer and their allegiance to you as well. And I think we've helped certainly to maintain that through the use of modern technologies, such as all the video link calls that we've been able to do, the demonstrations, the FATs and the trials we've been able to do online.
We were fortunate that we invested in the high-speed internet things prior to any of that ever happening.
Yeah.
We always had the plans to the videos, and it just everything seemed to slot into place.
Yeah, that seemed a big jump when we put the high speed.
It was a big decision.
Big decision because it's it's over £300 a month to connect this factory to the outside world, because we have to we have a dedicated fibre connection into the building, but we found that what we had was just so slow, and that was the only option. With more of our systems going online, our accounting system, our CRM system, our ERP system, all in the cloud, we need connectivity. So we took the decision, we're just going to have to do it. And of course, with what's happened this year, that's paid dividends because we have got good internet connections. And I think that's been one of the challenges of some people working from home, that they find that if all their neighbours are working from home, then the connection's not quite so good.
We're now so used to the speed, we want it even faster.
Yeah, well, that's right. Now we're looking at can we get it faster?
Once we'd had those conversations with the employees, customers and suppliers, we quickly moved on to redoing the budget, and one of the things we consciously made a decision about, if you remember, was to continue to invest. So all the things we planned pre-COVID on the investment, on our marketing, on our product development, on our people, we said we were going to continue to do that. So we continue to plan for growth despite uncertain sales levels.
Yeah.
So we did all that. So there's a number of, moving forward on the more positive stuff. You look at how the business has changed this year, and we brought another 4 people on board.
Yep.
There'll be another one very shortly.
Yeah, the sales growth is there for us to, all goes to plan. We'll have an additional person to carry out the sales support role.
Those people have all been overhead actually. Looking at it, we've had sales support, we've had internal sales, we've got another sales guy.
Yeah.
And
development.
Development and service.
Yeah. So it's all, with the exception of the design guy, it's all been customer-facing support roles.
Yeah.
And a consequence of that, we need more vans. It's another decision we have.
Yeah.
It's getting more vans, and Richard and I remember the decision we made in the first one. We were umming and ahhing. Well, do we spend that money? And now we've got 3 of them.
Yeah, we bought it. It got driven a bit, but not a great deal. But we thought, well, it's there when we need it. And now we've got
They're just out
3. Joe's the northern guy working in Rotherham. He's got that original van, which is still going strong as anything. Martin's got a new van, and then we've got the big van for the larger kit. So yeah, fleet of 3 vans. So we thought that whenever, well, it's only 5 years ago we got that first van. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a much easier decision now.
Yeah.
The other thing we quickly did was move the shop forward. The Rotec,
Yes.
by Rotec.
Yeah.
We had plans to introduce that sometime this year. We didn't. It was the latter part of the year. But when the pandemic hit, the people that we're working with said we've got some quiet time. Would you mind if we did it now? Help them. And we said no, get it done. And that there's a lot of stuff going through that shop now. Certainly a lot of our consumable supplies for our own products, and we're adding new products all the time.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's helped to simplify the purchasing protocols for a lot of our customers. Consumables purchased direct from the shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've addressed that issue. People used to say, "Oh, can I pay with credit card?" And we hadn't accepted credit cards. But that sort of leapfrogged that stage where I was saying, "Yeah, sure, you can go and buy the consumables on the shop, and the payment system's all in place, so it's easy to do."
It's improved our efficiencies as well, so that's been passed on to the customer, because there's quite a lot of stuff on there that the customers, if they buy it from the shop rather than coming to us direct, through the telephone or email. So if they go to the shop, they get a discount by going online. So it's more efficient for us. All we're doing, we're passing the savings on to them.
And then in our last session, Peter and Miguel were with me, and I was talking about the 3D printers. But I think the next 3D printer was almost our first. Let's cheer ourselves up and buy a 3D printer purchase, I think, wasn't it? Because we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
We saw no reason not to buy the 3D printer.
Yeah.
And so
we thought we'd have time to play with it. That's why.
Well, that's right. Yeah, we thought, well, now's a good time to invest in that sort of thing, and get another 3D printer up and running. It takes a little time to bed them in and get them running, but we bought another one since, of course.
Another two.
Yeah,
we're just about to buy a third, another one.
Yeah.
And again, that's paying dividends on our response times for the special applications we have recently.
Response time, flexibility, our efficiency as well, because from a stock point of view, it means we don't have to hold so much stock, so it's more we're making it when we need it. and that gives us opportunity if we do have any issues on the change of design, the change is immediate. So there's lots of benefits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing we did quite quickly. We also invested in the systems quite quickly. If you look at what we've done with our CRM system, and your ability to quote directly from that now,
It's so much simpler and easier.
how much more professional.
Yeah. I think it was all about focusing on the future. The present wasn't looking too marvellous at times, and I think it was a case of looking at the future. What are you going to invest in? What are you going to do to make yourself stronger for when we come out of this, or as we move through it, of course. And of course, the other side was we also pressed ahead with some product development. I think as in the series of sneak peeks that have been part of this sort of Advent calendar run up to Christmas this year. We've shown some of the products that we developed. I think the three that have moved along notably this year have been the reel-to-reel system for just doing offline coding of labels reel-to-reel, very easy to integrate a teacher printer to. The second one was a little project actually we gave to Miguel when he was working from home in the very early stages of lockdown, where we were trying to have as much home working as possible. And Miguel got his head around the design for a traversing system for a teacher printer, or any other printer really, but primarily a traversing system for a teacher printer, useful on a thermoformer where you've got multiple lanes, and now rather than printing onto a moving material, you're printing onto a static material and sweeping the printhead across the material. And then the third one is a print apply labeler, where we're taking a standard benchtop thermal transfer label printer and taking the components out of it and reassembling it in a way that you can use it primarily on one of our feeders, but also online. And again,
the benefits you get there is in terms of price, basically.
Yeah.
All the products we're introducing are still within the coding and marking family, although maybe moving a bit further out, whereas we normally stick with printers. Feeders historically, we've always done a lot of work on feeders, but we're doing a bit more on the labels or labelling side.
Yeah.
There's another thing we've seen with the introduction of new products. It's expanded not just the portfolio, the range and the solutions we can offer. It's actually the ongoing effect of that is that it's built our customer base. We can cope with a much wider variety of applications now. If you took food and pharmaceuticals being two strong markets, even during this period of time, the additional markets that we've now started looking at, helping customers with solutions for, are all down to having those new products.
We've had a lot of systems go through this year, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been
Bigger factory.
That'll be the next thing,
With the order you just got off the 5 metre conveyor, we've already a bigger factory.
That's right, yeah. Again, a specialist, something you wouldn't have normally been involved with, but it's something we can help the customer with for specific requirements. They need quick response times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this what we sort of dubbed the performance area, but we've had a couple of specials that have filled this area. One in particular was going around the corner. Filled this area, but that all ran up well. There's a couple just sort of out of shot that we're looking at now that we've worked on in the course of the year. And actually the 3D printing has been really key to that, because of the custom parts you need to make. You want them finished well, you want them in a material that's acceptable to your customers, and you want them quickly. So that's been one of the...
We're engineers, we like pottery, that's why 3D printers are exciting, we like seeing bits being made.
Yeah.
We're making more of our own stuff now.
I think that's been one key element for us as well, being UK based, UK manufacturer, designer, and the products that we're supplying to the customers.
There's few of us left now.
That's standard, put us in good stead for many projects that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, the fact we design, manufacture our own stuff, so that masters our own destiny, so we can make changes to suit the customer requirements. Yeah, it's a strong plus for us. Has anybody got a big thing they think about for 2020, despite what happened, or all the things we've done? What's the biggest thing?
I would actually say it's down to the team here, the way the business has been run, the team's pulled together, because for sure going out to seeing customers, that's been curtailed quite substantially this year due to the restrictions. But behind me, when I'm out there facing customers, I always know that I've got a good team to rely on, and everybody is in the same situation, and everybody feels for each other, and that they've all pulled together. You know, from a management perspective, the business has been run correctly, as I see it, and I think we've done an exceptionally good job in a difficult time for many companies.
That's awesome.
I'll give you a couple of
No, all of us.
Well, of course, we have been very fortunate that the UK market has been strong.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got notable resellers who've had, I would say, you know, normal sorts of years. Surprisingly, one in France, where of course there's quite a lot of lockdown, but they had quite a rally at the end of the year, and also in the United States. But outside of that, we've had really very few export sales, and the growth and the business has really been in the UK. And as Steve says, I think that's where we're working directly with our customers. One of the upsides, I suppose, was that certainly in the spring we were efficient in being able to deliver systems because we could actually move around the country quite quickly. You know, we were sending engineers from here, you know, up to Cheshire for the day because it was doable, you know, that gave us a little bit of a boost. Now, of course, we've got Joe on board and he's based in Rotherham, and the traffic's all back to normal. We've been able to pick that up, but I mean, certainly last week, I think Joe's diary was every day last week.
Yeah,
he had something going on.
I think the two of them are very much the same this week.
Yeah, Martin and Joe are pretty much flat out. And of course, when we if you think about, well, if you take Joe out of the equation, you haven't got engineering support, and you're not able to deliver and install the systems. That's a restriction. We've always said. We've said it's the 3 Ps, haven't we, Chris? It's the people, the products, and the premises. And when we've looked at the growth of the business historically, and you see an uptick, you can say, oh, well, that's when we moved here, or that's when we took so and so on, or that's when we got that product.
Spikes in our growth.
And you can see that that's what drives growth.
We'd like to do all 3 together, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, whether you could handle all 3 together, but you're certainly conscious of the fact that they're the catalyst for growth, and every time you do one of those things, like adding in a product or adding in people, we don't move premises quite so often.
So we are running out of space.
We are running out of space.
We need more people. We need more products.
And then, when we've got more people, we need more space to put them in. And I suppose we've always tried to take those decisions earlier rather than later.
And sensibly.
Yeah, sensibly. Yeah, I think somebody I read said, panic early and slowly. Because panicking late and fast, is ever so stressful. So if you're going to panic early and slowly. And do it in a considered way.
Traditionally, we do. I mean, although we're a small company, we're nimble on our feet. We do, take decisions quite seriously, and maybe a bit slowly sometimes. But when we look back on them, I don't think I can. No big decisions that we've made. I can't look back on and think that was the wrong thing to do.
No, we did that in a rush because we couldn't be bothered to do the groundwork. You know, we've always, tried to do the groundwork.
It's probably the engineers in us.
I think it probably is.
It takes me days to lay a few bricks. There's somebody else, because I have to get them exactly right.
I'm the same. Perhaps measure twice and cut once isn't a bad principle for applying running a business. Make sure you're absolutely happy with it before you action something. So,
one of the other things we've done as well was when the pandemic was first sort of started coming to light as such and started taking to effect. We started looking at stock, didn't we? We started building some stock up already. Yeah. Preparing ourselves for what could be or might not be at that time. Nobody really knew. That stood us in good stead for a lot of companies. If you think about the customer base or the sort of layout of the areas of business, the industries we deal with it, you had some growth in food, there's some growth in pharma, and there was the opposites.
Because we did have that little bit of a lull to start with, where everybody was working out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we kept everybody busy making stock because it's stuff we know we're going to use. And thank God we did.
Yeah, because we probably found that the inquiries we were getting were from people who were still working, they were busy, and they needed to do something, and they
And
wanted
they made
to do
decisions
something,
quickly as well.
and they made decisions quickly. And I think part of that was maybe they were looking at an automating a process because they wanted to be efficient. But of course, also, people were struggling with labour and workforce. They were either having to lay out factories to be socially distanced, or they were struggling with the fact that schools were shut, the staff weren't in, people were isolating and the rest of it, and they were very, people dependent, and they were busy, and this tends to be the way. So if I could automate that, I could have somebody doing another job, which is important to me. Like you say, there were certain people seem to make decisions quickly.
Yeah.
And
We're
again,
still
having
seeing it
stock was useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still, yeah.
It hasn't quieted down, we're 6 working days till Christmas, and it's still, it's still orders coming in, still inquiries coming in. I was speaking to the sport guys earlier, and they're still getting visits scheduled for January.
Yeah.
Can you come in January?
Yeah.
That's
I think that's one of the beauties of many of the products on our range is that they help increase efficiencies. So it's not just a nice to have product, it's something that is invested in because you can see the return on making something simpler, quicker, easier, helping.
we're the same with our business. If we can see something that's going to make us more efficient, we've invested an awful lot in terms of systems this year. Our stock system is something that we implemented. And again, that was a big decision.
Yeah.
I mean, that's paid dividends this year, and our stock has reduced, our stock turn has increased, our availability has improved. So all the things have gone the right way, all because we introduced that system, and we wouldn't have been able to do our shop without it.
That's very true.
No.
So if we can find anything that we can invest in that is going to improve our efficiencies or enable us to react to our customers better, we're always looking for things like that.
It's even down to the thermal inkjet range, isn't it? I mean, the introduction of that range all those years ago now.
That's the prince that keeps on giving.
Yeah, because during this period, people have been restricted. You say in terms of people to hand, so maintenance teams have been restricted, whereas our thermal inkjets, they're zero maintenance. So those that have invested and seen the future in technology and the benefits of something that's become almost a forget printer, enabling them to continue production in an unbroken fashion.
Back to follow.
Back to follow. Yeah, we've seen some significant installations in the year. Some multiples going in, some quite a bit of expansion in the applications list. Some of the things we're doing, some of the machines that we're mounting the printers onto. That's really moved along well in the course of the year.
That wraps it up for 2020.
That's probably our summary of 2020.
What about 2021?
2021, well, I think everybody hopes for,
Let's do it all over again without masks on.
Or running out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Or Zoom quizzes.
Yes,
All the things we got used to.
I think everybody's quite keen to get back to seeing each other a bit more. From a business point of view, we hope that we've laid good foundations for 2021.
Yeah,
one would hope that there will be growth, just as people are either adapting to the situation, or the situation is receding a bit and we are moving around more. But we've certainly got plans for more people, more products.
some of that started already.
Some of that's already underway. And we normally find that Christmas is a break that it's just 10 days or so out of the schedule, and then generally everybody's back and running in January. So we look forward to a resumption of operations in January, and hopefully as the year rolls on, perhaps we'll be travelling around and seeing people a little bit more. So
We shall see.
we shall have to see.
We shall carry on regardless.
We should carry on regardless. We should be here, undoubtedly. We may be sat here in the year in these same sweaters.
It wasn't our idea, by the way.
No, it wasn't. You wouldn't get 3 engineers wearing sweaters like that. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it up at that, but thank you very much for joining us all. We hope you've enjoyed the Advent calendar if you've been checking in with the various bits by day. I hope you've enjoyed our ramblings and reflections on 2020. We wish you a very happy Christmas, We wish you a prosperous new year, and we look forward to hearing and seeing from you all in 2021. So thank you very much, and happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas. Have a good New Year.